mine from Central Kenya recently. We just had interaction, and he told me, Robert, do you know why we had to reduce your numbers? I said, I don't know. He said, as Central Kenya, we don't fear Luo Nyanza, we don't fear Rift Valley, but we dread Somalis. And I asked why. He said they're very aggressive, they're very hardworking, and if we don't put some checks and balances, we see them as a threat. I said, threat in what form? I mean, are they threatening security or anything? No, they're a very aggressive business community. And I told him, you can reduce the numbers on the paper. But the reality is, Somalis are here. The rise will never turn to a fall. And we will fight this war with the help of Almighty Allah, with every determination that we have to make sure that you don't succeed in your bad intent. What happened in the just recently released numbers is absurd, is insane, is an issue that is extremely puzzling. If you see the rise and fall of democracies, is always occasioned by extreme marginalization and deliberate resource denial that is occasioned by the government. As a result, frustration leads to other avenues. Today, what is happening is an extremely unfortunate situation in Kenya. I asked a question. Balambala is a constituency with advice about 25 registered voters and 16,000 students in school, pupils in primary school. If you add 25 plus 16, is 39. But surprisingly, will register census population of 32,000. You know, Nairobi, with cosmopolitan arrangement, geopolitical, setting as it is, socio-economic setting that is identical, will have 17 constituencies, and then 16 constituencies out of the 17 will register population increase, but Kamukunji will register decline. I mean, you must be gifted with thickness to be able to really commit such absurd crime. Former President Kibaki said, even becoming a thief requires intelligence. Now, you can really play around with numbers, but if it is not backed up with intelligence, you're going to embarrass yourself. What happened is not census, it's the will of a few individuals in the center deciding it's not worth it. The people of Northern Kenya have persevered 50 years of resource denial. 50 years. We did not demonstrate, we did not go to court, we were not too loud about it. Instead, we chose to accept the resource denial and continue struggling until, by grace of Almighty Allah, devolution came. And now, devolution started giving a little bit of resources. Note that 50 years of resource denial, everything was going to Central Kenya. But we didn't complain. We did not demonstrate. We didn't go to the streets. We were not that loud. We were not on the newspapers. We were only talking and engaging to say we're being denied our rightful resources. When devolution came, some little resources were coming to Mandera, Garissa, Wajir. Our brothers from Central Kenya could not persevere that little resource that has come. If you combine Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, maybe 25 billion per year at its best. But close to 3 trillion, more than 70% will go to steal Central Kenya in the name of national government functions and other allocations. We don't complain, but they could not persevere. Few years of devolved resources that are shared to areas where resources have been deliberately denied for 50 successive years in this country. But the time has come when the rubber has to meet the road. And Northern Kenya will not keep quiet. We will not accept whatever it will take, we will fight for our right in this country. And anybody who has thought that scheming and getting what they are doing is going to succeed, you've thought really very shallow. We have dissected the census, and there's no census that has taken place for the entire country. We believe in justice. We will take it to the courts. And we hope and pray that there shall not be manipulation in the courts. And once, I want to put on notice that on this one, Northern Kenya is 100% together.